Grace and peace, you guys. Welcome back to Unshakable with April Chapman as we discuss all things social, cultural, political, and theological from a biblical perspective. I'm your host, April Chapman. Welcome to today's show. We're going to be quick because I do not believe the acoustics and the environment is on my side. And so therefore, I wanted to talk to you guys really quickly about this little stunt that the NAACP has pulled. These Negroes got some nerve. Boy, I tell you, listen, I don't know if you guys have been up to date of what's going on. I'm probably actually late to the party, but the NAACP is demanding that Black athletes avoid attending SEC schools down in the South over the Supreme Court decision and this redistricting.
This is an unprecedented moment featuring an unprecedented attack on Black political representation, and therefore it requires an unprecedented response.
That's right.
We are here standing in solidarity with the NAACP and its call for athletes to boycott institutions within the SEC that belong to states that have unleashed these Jim Crow-like racially oppressive tactics, which is unacceptable, unconscionable, and un-American. And we believe that the silence of these institutions is complicity.
That's right.
And we will not stand for it. With respect to the SCORE Act, our position has been clear. If LSU is for it, we're against it. If the University of Alabama is for it, we're against it. If Ole Miss is for it, we're against it. If the University of South Carolina is for it, we're against it. If the University of Tennessee is for it, we're against it. And if the SEC schools are for it, we are against it. And we will continue to stand against it because we're standing on the side of liberty and justice for all.
Now, riddle me this, Batman. Let's just say that these Black athletes decide to rescind their full rides and scholarships in hope of a financial future for themselves and their family in light of what the Supreme Court has done. Explain to me how them deciding not to attend these schools is going to somehow reverse a Supreme Court decision. You do realize that the Supreme Court is the highest court of the land. I'm just trying to see something. NAACP. You guys claim to be the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. Yet you are asking colored people to forego a very limited or once in a lifetime opportunity for them to not only change the financial trajectory for themselves, but for their family, for possibly 1 to 2 generations. You want them to stand in solidarity with you. Mind you, you guys are a bunch of melanated-minded Marxist Negroes that have not advanced colored people in the past 60 years. Now, we can talk about what you have advanced. You've advanced LGBT rights. You've advanced illegal rights. You've championed everything that would make your name be considered the National Association for the Abortion of Colored People. Advancement, not so much, but absolutely abortion, because y'all are the pro-reproductive rights people. Explain to me why an athlete would say, you know what, I'm gonna avoid changing my family's future and participating in my own prosperity. I'm gonna do this for the cause. I'm gonna do this for the culture. Explain to me. If we had 10 athletes who stood in solidarity with you and said, you know what, I'm not going to go to an SEC school. Where do you want them to go? You want them to go to HBCU? Is that what you want? because it's not like the NAACP has done anything to help advance or improve the conditions or the outcomes at all of these HBCUs. So you want them to take their talent and go to an HBCU that has less money, inferior facilities, and less opportunities for them to get drafted into an NFL team. Where do you want them to go? Like, what is the alternative? What are they supposed to do with their lives now that they're standing in solidarity with you in whole Colin Kaepernick power to the people stance? What are they supposed to do? I just want to know, because last time I checked, you can't boycott your way into a Supreme Court decision reversal. It ain't like even if 50 rising college freshman athletes decided that they weren't going to go to SEC schools, that the Supreme Court be like, well, you know what? We changed our minds. We just going to go back and rescind that decision because the blacks protested. We love our sports. I had a great deal of respect for him. So it was shocking for me to hear someone that I held in such high esteem say something so bold and provocative and downright rude.
In my mind, I don't see how it can't be. I mean, if something is impossible, nobody can do it.
Okay.
So freedom is a choice. How can slavery not be? You have documented that over 200,000 black people escaped. And they basically stole their own freedom. 100,000 escaped on their own. Another 100,000 escaped through the Underground Railroad. And how did they do it? They made a choice. They decided to do it. Now, when people say, I have no choice, they've just admitted they're a coward. Slavery is a choice.
Down here in the South. Now, we do. Down in the South, we absolutely do love our sports. But I'm trying to understand what the end goal is. Oh, I know. I know what the end goal is. See, the end goal is that you guys are so desperate. You're so desperate for more political pawns, such as those who are in the Congressional Black Caucus, who absolutely push Marxism, not pro-Black agendas or not pro-America agendas. It's just pro-Marxist. It's pro-Democrat. You were hoping that you could make them, shame them, make them feel bad enough and sympathetic to your cause. You, once again, want to use Black suffering for your own political gain, because there are Black politicians who are losing districts and are losing seats. Then you've been controlling, not because you've been advancing Black people, but because you've been aborting Black people. You've been doing all kinds of things that do not help the Black cause. You thought that you could weaponize Black pain for your own political expediency. You guys have been so irrelevant for the past, 40, 50 years, that this was a desperate attempt to play on Black ignorance and perceived Black suffering. But the purpose of this video is to highlight how utterly ridiculous you are. It's also to highlight how utterly hypocritical you are, and to highlight how utterly distasteful and shameful you are. To ask young Black men who, truth be told, academically, this is their only way out. You claim to be for the advancement of Black people, but those who have worked hard, not based on DEI, because sports doesn't do DEI. You have to be the best of the best to get recruited into the SEC. You want them to disavow all of the hard work and tenacity and structure and discipline that they've subjected themselves to based on their merit. You want them to disavow that for your hopeless, anti-American, anti-Black Marxist cause. Y'all are some low-down, dirty snakes. And I hope and pray that every young person who may have thought that the NAACP was about something, I hope that this video spreads far and wide and they are able to see that y'all are the scum of the earth. You are a piece of trash. Because you know, and I know, all of us know, that you cannot protest your way out of a Supreme Court decision. The decision has been made. The High Court of the nation has spoken. These Black districts are going to get broken up, and the segregation that you are advocating for can be no longer. These Black districts don't represent Black representation. These Black districts represented Black plantation management. You kept all of these Black congressmen and House representatives under your control, and you did so that you could push your Marxist agenda. Marxism, you guys, is simply a very fancy worldview for anti-God, anti-Christian worldview. It's oppressed versus oppressor. So they got to keep it's what fuels the grievance industry. So it's the industry that the NAACP is in. And I meant what I said when I said the NAACP should now be called the National Association for the Abortion of Colored People, because that's what they advocate. The whole Negro Project and making sure that the Black pulpit pimp showed, or should I say, encouraged their churches that it was noble and righteous to champion reproductive rights. Yeah, you got a whole lot of Black pastors that have convinced their congregations that it is okay to vote for someone to kill their baby, even though you may not kill their baby. You may not kill your baby. It's okay for somebody else to kill their baby. So like murder is just okay as long as you ain't doing it. Murder of the innocent, that is. Hear me clearly. Here's the only thing that I wanted to say about this was the fact that the NAACP, the mask is off, and everybody should know at this point that they do not represent Black Americans at all. They are nothing more than a Marxist Democrat front group. They promote what Democrats want. Because if they were about advancing colored people in the Virginia governor's race, when you had Abigail Spanberger versus Winsome Sears, none of the pro-woke blackity blacks supported Winsome Sears. In fact, y'all got the melanin messiah to come out in support of the white liberal. If I was a betting woman, I would say it looks like the NAACP is about pushing white liberal agendas and not Black advancement agendas. You got a seat up in Tennessee. What's his name? Cohen's seat, his congressional seat. There is a Black conservative. I mean, she real Black, authentically Black. Her seat, her race. There's been no endorsement. Y'all claim to be nonpartisan, but all we see from you is Democrat support and silence on any Black American that remotely leans conservative. Why is that? It's because you guys are not interested in being pro-Black. The NAACP is a front group for the DNC. They're on the DNC's payroll. They support the DNC. And if there are young Black athletes out there and you were accepted into an SEC school, the best thing that you could do for yourself and your family is to go to that school and make them proud, and you play to the best of your ability with everything that you got, because you've been training for this your whole life. Don't listen and let these people shame you into destroying your future. They want young Black men to destroy themselves for them. I'd never thought. I mean, I knew they were low, but I didn't think they would stoop this low. So anyway, y'all, at the end of the day, I'm in utter disbelief, but not really, because we knew that they were Weasley, but I didn't think they must think Black people are really stupid. And I'm also wondering, is there an athlete, a Black athlete, who has said, yes, I'll be the sacrificial lamb and I will forego my scholarship to an SEC school and I'm gonna go to Ohio, or I'm gonna go to Notre Dame or something like that. Not that ain't nothing wrong with those schools. I'm just saying. I'd also like to know, did you want them to go to HBCUs? I mean, that's so funny and so laughable. But then again, I mean, listen, if I was a pro wokety woke blackety black, we don't see enough support for our own schools. We don't. But this is the hypocrisy of it all, because it shouldn't have taken a Supreme Court decision on redistricting. It shouldn't have taken the Supreme Court to say, listen, you can't separate people on the basis of race. It shouldn't have taken them to strike that down. Mind you, no one's lost their right to vote. If you're Black, you can vote for whoever you want. Actually, no, now that I think about it, none of us can vote for anybody we want. Like, I can't vote for AOC. Why? Because I live in Georgia. Let's say I wanted to vote for AOC. I can't. So there's always going to be restrictions on who you can vote for. No one has ever had the ability to do whatever it is that they want to do. There's context and confines to this. I can't vote for Jim Clyburn in South Carolina, right? So it's the same way. No one's taking away your right to vote. What we are doing, though, is we are saying we're not drawing districts on the basis of race, looping all the Black folks together to give you melanated-minded Marxist Negroes the ability to an unfair advantage for you to win a district that you would not normally be able to win on your own merit. That is what's happening. But I want to stay focused. This video is about this stunt, this punk move by the NAACP, actually appealing to Black athletes and saying that you guys need to boycott these SEC schools. This is what it's about. I really think they just want these SEC schools to get the white guilt and for these schools to give them money. Now, it's not going to change the district decision. They just want the grift. They just want to shame these white schools into giving them money so they can take that money and then put it behind these candidates so that they'll have more of an opportunity to win their districts back. Maybe. I don't know. That's a theory. That's what I'm thinking. But I'm curious to know, what do you guys think? Do you think this is funny? Like, do you think there are actually students out there who will say, sure, I'll do it for my people? You know, power to the people. I'll do it for the cause of the Blacks. I'm not going to, I'm going to get rid of my scholarship. You know, I know my name take Quayshawn, and I've been in the hood my whole life, but I done worked really, really hard to be the top of my game, and I done got this scholarship to this school, and now I'm not going to go because I'm doing it for the people. I can't even take it serious. Anyway, y'all, whatever it is that you guys think, leave me your comments down in the box below. And until next time, you guys, stand firm, stay bold, and above all else, stay unshakable. Grace and peace.